Everybody, Mr. Williams here. Today, we're doing something real fun. We're going to talk about rhythm. We're going to talk about beats. We're going to talk about kind of the parts of the language we don't talk nearly as much about when we're in a classroom. So today's lesson is called Stress in Language, but I could have also called it Poetry in Language. I could have called it Music in Language. I could have called it Rhythm in Language. Before we get into it, just make sure that, obviously, you need to like and subscribe at the end of this video, or even before. If you want to do that right now, just do that right now. But in any case, just joking around. Today, we're talking about the sound of words. This is supposed to click. There we go. Here's my first pun of the day. It's horrendous, but dear stress, let's break up. So good. But now a little bit more seriously, some wonderful quotes for us. So music and rhythm find their way into the secret places of the soul. Now this was written by Plato, which is like we're going thousands of years ago. And I still think it's true today where there's something about like the way that rhythm hits us with certain songs at certain times in our lives too, that we can just have a really significant experience. And it's really hard to put into words what that is. Some days I need the music and some days I need the lyrics. As an English teacher, I'll focus quite a bit on the meanings of words, but sometimes I just need to hear something. I just need to hear some rhythm, hear the way the words sound, and that will affect me. There's lots of times I'll go through on Spotify or whatnot. I'll hear a song and I'll go, man, that was a great song. And I'll realize I have no idea what it's about because I didn't really take into account what these words mean. Last one here is music is life. That's why our hearts have beats. So that's very much what we're going to be talking about. It's the beats that go along with language. So if you were ever interested in writing a song, you run into this. Is how do you take the rhythm of your song, the rhythm of the music, whether you're on whatever instrument, piano, guitar, whatnot, how are you going to put together the beats from that instrument, the rhythm from that instrument onto the actual words that you'd be singing? So the target for this is what's a stressed and unstressed syllable? We'll really come out of this. All we're trying to do today is identifying what's a stressed syllable and what's an unstressed syllable. And I'll just let you know right now, some of it's going to be really easy and some of it's not easy at all. And if you feel like at the end of this, you're just not really quite getting it, that's going to be about 80% of us or 70% of us. We aren't going to feel amazing about this because it's going to take a couple of weeks for this to sink in. But we'll be going slow. So it's okay at the end of today to still feel like you don't totally have it yet. So this is from Mr. Marshall Mathers, better known Eminem. He wrote this song for a movie that I made. And if you just look at this, so I put in all caps, some of the words are in all caps. Those are the louder, I'd say the louder words. We know this one, just how text works. But I'll just read a little bit of it. So his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. Now, without going into too much more, you just look at the first two words, his palms. Now, just the way I would just naturally say it and the way that's also said in the song as well, palms is a louder word than his. It's a more accentuated word. It's a more emphasized word. His palms are sweaty. And then sweaty is far more accentuated over than the R, the A-R. So this is just the way that these words are naturally working out. Some words are a little bit louder words, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So words matter and sound matters. So when we put words together, they sound different. And we call the difference in their sound stress. So look at the following phrase, read it aloud as you naturally say it. Which word pops out more? So with this phrase, I can't even, I can't even, I can't even. Which word pops out more? Well, you see this, you can hardly tell it's bolded. The word that's bolded right here is can't. So usually, I'll move this over. Sorry. Usually when we say a phrase like this, can't is said louder. It's accentuated, it's emphasized. Can't is the loudest, most stressed word, just naturally speaking. Now, right away, I know a lot of people are going, well, here's the next slide. Of course, you can choose to stress different words by the sound of your voice. You could say, I can't even, or I can't even, or I can't even. Now, I know that we can do that with our voice, absolutely. But just if you just look at the words the way they are, some words are a bit louder, a bit more accentuated, a bit more stressed than other ones are. So, but these words, come with their own natural stress sounds. I can't even. Compare the three words and you'll notice how the T sound in can't is naturally harsher, louder, and it's more stressed than the others. It's just if you took all three words, you try to say them the same way, the can't's going to be a bit louder, a little bit more stressed. Okay. So one thing, how we're going to do this today is we've got two symbols for us. If you look at the top of your screen, you've got this little symbol right here. We're going to use that for not stressed, and this symbol right here for stressed. It's the only two symbols we'll be using. Actually, the only two symbols we'll be using completely with this whole project. But I can't even. I circle that because that's the stressed word. So the I is not stressed, the can't is stressed, and the even is not stressed. So I can't even, not stressed, stressed, not stressed. And this is how we'll actually write here on the bottom. This is how we write it out. I can't even. And I kind of think like when I'm talking, like I'll be like, I can't even. I actually kind of visualize it a little bit in my head when I'm saying these words. But words can be made up of even one more sound. So there's a bit of a trick there. The even actually has two sounds in it, has two syllables in it. So even, two syllables, even. The eve is the stressed and the in is the unstressed. And that's if you say even, the part of even that you hear the most is the eve over the in. Even. You hear the eve is a little bit louder, a little bit more stressed, a little bit more accentuated. Wonderful. So how you'd actually write I can't even, you'd go I, unstressed, can't, stressed, eve, stressed, and unstressed. I can't even. So if I'm just going to emphasize this for you, it'd be like, I can't even. Kind of goes like, I can't even. It kind of goes up and down like that. So there's 4 syllables, there's 4 sounds in this phrase. 2 of them are unstressed and 2 of them are stressed. So this is something like I want us to think about a little bit. So you try, I'll give you a little bit of a chance to look at this. Now, obviously, you're not going to write over onto the screen, but what are the stressed words in each phrase? It's just words here. We're not breaking words into multiple syllables. There's no multisyllabic word right now. So when I eat, what would be the stressed words in when I eat? When I eat bread, what are the stressed words in that phrase? What's the stressed? What's the unstressed? When I eat bread. When I eat too much. When I eat too much. So you're trying to look for what words sound a little bit louder. And for right now in this moment, this will be hard. It's a lot easier if you spend the time when you're reading it over yourself. But here's some answers for you. So when I eat. When I eat. So the I is kind of the focus of that. So when I eat, it will just naturally kind of pop up. When I eat bread. When I eat bread. And when I eat too much. When I eat too much. When I eat too much. And you'll actually notice too that this rhythm follows the same thing. It goes unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed. This is not always true. You'll notice that sometimes you'll get 2 stressed in a row or 2 unstressed in a row. But the neat thing about this is the way the English language is spoken, we naturally go unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. So when we speak, we naturally do this. But then there's tons and tons and tons and tons of exceptions. But just generally speaking, you do this already. Okay, before we do the next thing, this is just my reminder. I already said it. I just want to stress, that's a terrible pun. This is going to be hard. And it's going to get easier in the next couple of weeks. But for right now, if you're feeling like, I can't really hear the difference, Mr. Williams, I think you're just making this up and you're trying to trick me. That's a totally normal thing to feel right now. Because it does take a little bit of practice. So I have some practice lined up for us. Before we get into anything that's going to be really difficult, I just want to start with, can we identify the stress and the unstressed? So this is a modern song written by a guy from Mission. And he's just exploding right now, like internationally. So I say here, see if you can mark the stressed and unstressed syllables. If you had this paper in front of you, I'd give you the time, but I don't think you definitely couldn't do it. Well, at least I could. I definitely couldn't do it just reading this out loud and not writing on anything. I'd need to physically write. So this goes, don't stay awake for too long. Don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. I'll get you up and going out of bed. Now, when you actually hear the song, unfortunately, I'm going to sing a little bit, and a lot of you probably want to turn this off. You'll hear that the rhythm of the song actually goes with the stressed and the unstressed and the stressed syllables. So it goes like, don't stay awake for too long. So don't stay, those are 2 hard stressed syllables. Awake, it goes like awake for too long. Don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. I'll get you up and going out of bed. That's as good as I can say. And I'll show you just right now what it looks like. So don't stay, if you're too stressed in a row, awake for too long. Don't go to bed. I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. I'll get you up and going out of bed. So if you listen to the song, you'll hear the rhythm of the stresses. These go together. And I'm going to give you some of these to practice. Now, there's also another reason why I'm using this song, not only because it's written by a proud missionite, but also because I'll be using this for something else as well, just for fun, because I thought it'd be neat to use some local lyrics. Okay, this was just me having some fun, but okay, complete the attached worksheet to the assignment. It's short and it's just meant to be practice. So I've attached in the assignments, you'll see just a little follow-up. You're gonna do, I think, 2 or 3 little short quatrains, so 4 lines of some fun little songs, and just see what you can do to it. Just if you can mark the stressed and unstressed. And then at the very end, I'm gonna ask you to, whatever song you pick that you wanna ruin, the song you wanna ruin. Now, we're not ruining it this week, we're gonna ruin it later. I want you to see if you can find what's the stressed and the unstressed syllables with that song that you picked. And pick any 4 lines. I don't want to see any swearing in those lines if you did pick something that has some profanity. But just pick 4 lines. Any 4 lines, it doesn't matter. I typically think the first 4 sometimes works really well. And if your lines are really short, like just okay is just a line, just kind of get kind of the same amount of words as what you'd see on the screen right now. Just something that's reasonable, and then mark the stressed and the unstressed. This is a bit harder. I'm going to also attach a YouTube video that talks about iambic pentameter, which is something that we are going to get to. I didn't want to do that right now, but that video on iambic pentameter also talks about stressed and unstressed syllables. So it'll help you a little bit. Please feel free to ask me any questions. Sorry the video's so long, but this is better than, like, I don't know, however long we have class, like 74 minutes of me like screaming and yelling and pretending I'm trying to be funny and whatnot. So this is a lot quicker than that. But thank you so much for watching the video. Obviously, like and subscribe, obviously all those things. But other than that, I hope you have a really, really wonderful week. So I appreciate everything, and I'm currently trying to turn this off, and I will, and it's working right now. Okay, take care. Thanks, bye.